Did you ever appreciate just how insane Father Gascoigne has become by the time we fight him in Bloodborne? I mean, it's definitely easy to see that he's caught up in a fit of violent madness, because we discover him moments after he killed his own wife, and he's grotesquely hacking away at some random townsfolk with his hunter's axe, despite the fact that they're already dead and so they pose no threat. What's happening here is that Father Gascoigne is undergoing an episode of paranoid delusion, but it's also really easy to miss this facet of his character because it only gets revealed in a line of dialogue that he delivers if he kills you during the first half of his boss fight, before he transforms into a beast. But if this does happen, he says something extremely bizarre as he gloats over your dead body, and it goes like this.
Too proud to show your true face, eh? But a sporting hunt it was.
So this line of dialogue is weird and kind of hard to understand. And I want to focus on this idea that Gascoigne expresses, that the player is too proud to show their true face. What does that actually mean? What is the player's true face supposed to be? Well, I think that Father Gascoigne must be talking about the beast that hides within the flesh of every Yharnamite. Your true face is the face of a werewolf, of a beast. And the thing that Father Gascoigne is basically saying here is that he's surprised that you didn't turn into a werewolf during your fight and thereby reveal your so-called true face. And I think that this dialogue reveals the true extent of Father Gascoigne's madness, because he clearly doesn't see you as a human being anymore, even though he recognizes that you have a human form. He thinks that your human appearance is actually a deception, and your true self is a beast that's simply hiding inside of a human skin suit. And he's surprised that you never took this skin suit off during your fight. He thinks that you were simply too proud to do it. And I think what's happening here is that Father Gascoigne is undergoing a delusion that was shaped by his many years of experience as a hunter. Gascoigne's role as a hunter was to patrol the streets of Yharnam looking for beasts. But this role was also much more sinister than it sounds, because there's more to being a hunter than simply catching and killing monsters. Gascoigne must also identify human beings who are prone to transform into beasts, and his authority allows him to purge the curse of beasthood from their bodies before they fully turn, which is to say, his role allows him to execute them. And I think that Gascoigne's role as an executioner taught him to look at people with suspicion. It taught him to look for the monster that hides beneath the flesh of every face. And over time, it seems as though this suspicious state of mind eventually transformed into a full-blown paranoid delusion. Gascoigne simply lost the ability to see human faces for what they were, and his paranoia told him that there weren't even any humans left in Yharnam. All of them were beasts, and they were simply concealing their true face inside of human flesh suits in order to escape the hunter's axe. And I think that this insight into the madness of Father Gascoigne can add a new layer of horror to what we already know from his storyline. We already know that Gascoigne killed his own wife shortly before we meet him in the Tomb of Erden, but now we know why he did it. In Father Gascoigne's delusional mind, his wife was already dead when he killed her. She only seemed to be alive, but all that really remained of her was a suit of her flesh that was occupied by a beast. And so in Gascoigne's own point of view as the madman, he never actually killed his wife so much as he avenged her, for he killed his wife's killer, which was the beast that wore her skin.